This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. In the last session, we were talking about the topics that are part of SAP FI, SAP CO. We understood FI means financial accounting. It is all related to accounting. Similarly, CO means controlling. This is all related to cost and management accounting. In FI, we have seen that it contains general ledger module, accounts payable, accounts receivable, cash accounting, bank accounting, asset accounting, taxation, and FI integration with other submodules of SAP. And on the controlling side, we understood there is something called cost element accounting, cost center accounting, internal orders, profit center accounting, product costing, and product profitability analysis. Out of all these topics, we need to make sure whatever is there in the blue color, whatever is there in blue color, which are two topics, these are completely CO. When we say these are completely CO, these two topics we will not be discussing in detail in our sessions. I'll only give you overview about product costing, overview about profitability analysis, because understanding COPA product costing alone takes 3 months. If you want to know these two topics, you have to dedicatedly invest 3 months time. And there are a lot of prerequisites before you understand COPA profitability analysis. This is not something that you can straight away understand, not something that you can straight away learn. You need to know so many other things in SAP FICO. Only then it is practically possible to understand conceptually about these two topics. Otherwise, you will only be knowing what is configuration for product costing, what is configuration for COPA, but you will not conceptually understand. Okay. And other than these blue highlighted ones, which I said there are a lot of dependent things that you have to know before you learn these two. These two things, overviews, we will be discussing in our sessions. Other than this, whatever is there in green highlight or yellow highlight, this we will be doing in depth. Whatever is there in yellow highlight, whatever is there in green highlight, we will be talking about these topics in detail or in depth. Okay. Now, as a FICO consultant, you have to be aware of all green highlight and then yellow highlight. Moreover, keep in your mind whenever you're getting into the market or you're talking to somebody, don't tell that you're good at GL APAR. As I last time mentioned, GL APAR, the moment you tell you're good at it, the other person will feel that you're a trained candidate. You have to go beyond that. Never reveal to anybody that you are good at GL APAR. Other than GL, other than AP, other than AR, talk what you're good at. There are many other things apart from GL, AP, AR. Those points you'll have to highlight. And when we write the detailed list of all the topics in SAP FICO, it will be a huge list. Especially from the interview point of view, there are certain topics. From those topics, you have to again eliminate GL, AP, AR. There is no other go. The way you know your name, you have to know about GL, AP, AR. You cannot say that I forgot my name. In the similar way, you cannot say that I know GL, AP, AR. This is a standard. This is by default. Don't tell anybody that I know GLAPAR separately, specifically, not at all required. Other than these three, what you're talking, what you're explaining matters a lot to the other person, to the interviewer, to the project. Okay. Now, let us try to understand what are all these points. Now, before we start understanding all these points, as we discussed in the previous sessions, SAP FICO is all about accounting. SAP FICO, it is all about accounting. This is all about accounting. And you should not forget the fundamentals. When I say you should not forget the fundamentals, when you're talking or when you're learning about SAP FICO, you're talking indirectly or directly about accounting only. When there is no accounting, there is no SAP FICO, straightforward. If you're talking about no, I don't want to get into accounting and all, you can come out from the SAP FICO module straight away. It's a directly connected with accounting. Accounting is driving your SAP FICO. If you are forgetting accounting, if you are ignoring accounting, you will never be able to feel comfortable, confident on SAP FICO. Okay, whether if you like accounting, you don't like accounting, you have to accept the fact. Okay, now before you go understand what is there in SAP FICO, you need to make sure what is there in accounting, how this accounting is used in SAP FICO, because Every organization will have to perform accounting on a monthly basis. Every organization will have to perform the accounting on a monthly basis to find out their monthly profit and loss and monthly balance sheet, asset position, liability position. This is mandatory for every organization across the world. There's no rule that only Indian companies will do it, only Chinese companies will do it, only US companies will do it, only Singapore companies will do it. It is not like that. Every organization, every legal entity, every registered company will have to perform, will have to prepare their financial statements at the end of every month, whether it is a small startup company or a top MNC. It can be any company, irrespective of the size of your company, accounting remains the same. When I say accounting remains the same, whether you're a small startup company which you established today itself, or you've been doing business from last 100 years, you are a well-established company in almost all the countries in the world, still you have to follow the same rules and regulation. Company who established today will also have to follow the same rules and regulation, meaning accounting remains a standard, accounting remains fixed. The same accounting is followed, adopted by all the companies. How all the companies are doing their accounting based on something called accounting principle. Based on accounting principle or accounting standards. There's something called accounting principle or accounting standard. Based on this accounting principle, based on this accounting standard, every organization will prepare their financials. When you're talking about financials or monthly financial reporting. When we're talking about monthly financial reporting, basically we're talking about three types of reports. When you're talking about financial reports, we're talking about three kind of reports here. Point number one is your trial balance. Point number two is your profit and loss statement. Point number three is your balance sheet. Okay, these are the 3 points which every organization, every company will prepare on a monthly basis. There is no exception here. No company will say, no, I don't prepare it. There is no exception for anybody. Every organization will have to prepare them on a monthly basis. Now, in order to prepare your financial statement, in short, to prepare a trial balance, to prepare a P&L, to prepare a balance sheet, what do we need? Forget about SAP. As a accounts student or as a person who wants to understand SAP, as a person who wants to learn SAP, if you are not having any idea, any clue, any clarity about these 3 points, TB, P&L, balance sheet, there is no point you learn SAP FICO. There is no point you learn SAP FICO if you are not aware of these fundamental points at the beginning of your course. It's not that you should be aware of it right from beginning, not required, but when you are decided to know SAP FICO or when you have decided to join SAP FICO course, you wanted to become SAP FICO consultant, these three are mandatory. If you are not aware of this, there is no meaning you are a FICO consultant. There is no meaning. Now, why I'm talking these points that this is required, this is mandatory. Point number one. There's something called projects. Okay, there's something called projects. I think everybody must be aware or everybody must have heard this point or this term called projects. When we're talking about projects, there are several types of project. First project that I would say is implementation project. First thing, let's talk about implementation project. Second point, let us talk about rollout project. Third one, I'll say migration project. Fourth one, upgradation project. And then fifth one, support project. Let's say these are the 5 types of projects as a FICO consultant you may be involved in. As a FICO consultant, tomorrow when you get a job, you may be part of either implementation project or rollout project or migration project, upgradation project or a support project. Now out of these things, there's something called support, there's something called a migration, there's something called upgradation. Now, on these three things, there may not be any trial balance. But when it comes to these 2 points, these are mandatory to have a trial balance. These two things. When you talk about implementation project, when you talk about rollout project, trial balance becomes mandatory here. Now, it is very much important in your interview tomorrow if you wanted to get a job. Everybody will ask you specifically how many implementations you were part of, or how many projects you worked on before, and how many end-to-end implementations you worked, or on how many rollouts you worked. Now, there is no other go you have to tell to somebody that yes, you were part of a one implementation project, one rollout project. If you tell, no, I was not part of any implementation project. If you say, no, I was not part of any implementation project, or I was not part of any rollout project, chances are very, very high that your profile will not be shortlisted. If you tell that you are not part of any implementation project, chances are very high that your profile will not be shortlisted, your interview will not be scheduled. Meaning, this is very, very important, very critical, very crucial for any FICO consultant, for any FICO candidate to get interview scheduled. No implementation project in your resume, no implementation knowledge to you will result no interview scheduling. Meaning, this is so much important. This is very, very important. Now, in the implementation project, what is going to happen? We're talking about implementation project. There's something called, let's say, let me write ABC Private Limited. Let's assume that ABC Private Limited is doing business from 2018 onwards. Assume that ABC Private Limited is using SAP, is doing business from 2018 onwards. Now let me put currently ABC Private Limited is using Oracle ERP application. Okay, currently ABC Private Limited is using Oracle ERP application. Now, from 2025 May onwards, ABC Private Limited wants to use SAP S/4HANA ERP. So what we are able to understand from these three statements, you're talking about a company called ABC Private Limited who is doing business from 2018 onwards, meaning this is an existing company from 2018, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Let's say from last 7 years they are doing business. From last 6 to 7 years, ABC company is doing business in the market. Currently, ABC Private Limited is working on Oracle ERP. Assuming that currently ABC Private Limited is using Oracle ERP, and now the ABC Private Limited has decided that they want to move on to SAP S/4HANA system from 2025 May onwards. Meaning 2025 May is the date that they want to start using SAP S/4HANA system. Now, for them to use SAP S/4HANA system from 2025 May onwards, what they need to do, they need to first purchase the SAP software. First thing, they need to purchase the SAP software. This is the roadmap. This is the roadmap, or this is the plan. SAP is something that you cannot buy today, you cannot use it tomorrow. It takes time for you to use SAP S/4HANA system or any SAP ERP system. It is not something that ready to use plug and play. This is something which will take time. This is something which will take time, meaning the moment you purchase the software or the license, it is not ready to use application. It is something which is to be configured. This is something which is to be configured, And when you're configuring SAP S/4HANA system, it will take time. When we say this will take time, this will take approximately 9 months or 1 year, 1.5 year, 2 year, depending on the size of the company, depending on the number of legal entities that your company has got. Based on so many parameters, duration will depend. It is not that straight away you blindly tell implementation means 1 year, support means unlimited. Don't talk in that way to anybody. When you're talking, when you're quoting an example, please make sure whatever you talk is meaningful. Tomorrow, when somebody is listening to you, what you're telling, they should feel that yes, this person is telling correct. This is correct. This is what this happens in the market. It has to be like that. But instead, for everything you're giving standard answers will put you in trouble. Your answers, your explanation, whatever you're giving will put you in trouble if you're not clear about what you're talking. Just like that, you should not talk. You should know what exactly it is, only then talk something related to it. Now, considering this, what is going to happen? Now, let me put ABC Private Limited here. This is the organization or this is the company that we are talking about. This ABC Private Limited is currently operating with Oracle ERP. Now, from when? They are using from 2018 onwards. Now, they want to come to SAP S/4HANA system from when? From 2025 May onwards. This from 2018 till 2025 April. From 2018 till 2025 April, because from 2025 May onwards, ABC Private Limited has already decided that they will be using SAP S/4HANA system. Now, there are two applications here. If you look at overall ABC Private Limited, from the beginning of their organization until 2025 April, they will be using Oracle ERP system. Now, from 2025 May onwards, the ABC Private Limited has decided that they will be moving on to SAP S/4HANA system. Now, you are a FICO consultant. We are all SAP FICO consultants. Those who are not talking, please go on mute. We are SAP FICO consultant. As a SAP FICO consultant, we are concerned only about SAP. You're least bothered what is happening in their existing system. We are not concerned about what is happening in their existing system because you are a FICO consultant. As a FICO consultant, you are more concerned about current system, which is your SAP. You are more concerned about the current application that they are going to use, that will be SAP. Now, from SAP point of view, you have to do all the investigations, analysis, understanding to set up the system. So you are a SAP S/4HANA consultant or you are a SAP FICO consultant. You are here. Meaning we are concerned about, or we are responsible for setting up the system related to SAP. We are all concerned about setting up system related to SAP. Now, can we straight away set up SAP system? No. Why you cannot straight away set up SAP system? Because of one point. There are two things. Point number one, completely new company who is going to use SAP as their first ERP. Second one, an existing company who is going to replace their current ERP with SAP. Whenever we talk about any implementation project, is it most likely case number one or case number two? Any idea, anyone? Whenever you talk about SAP project, is it point number one, which is most of the situations, or point number two? What is applicable?
Point number two, maybe.
Point number two will be because it is already existed in the old ERP system.
Yeah.
So safety, most of
Right?
the time they will be
Most of the
only pick.
cases, maximum of the cases, you would say more than 90% of the cases, or almost all the cases. This is very, very rare. This is very, very rare. Okay. And in most of the cases, this is what is going to happen. What is going to happen? Company is already existing. Company is already existing. They are already doing their business, but they are currently not using SAP. They are using any other application. They may be working on Oracle. They may be working on Tally. They may be working on JD Edwards, Microsoft Dynamics. There are so many applications which will support accounting to do their reporting. So there may be any application to do their accounting, to do their reporting in the existing business. Now the company had decided, no, this application is not going to be sufficient for us to meet all our business requirement. Let us get into SAP application. Now the company had decided to go for SAP. Now here company will purchase the SAP software or SAP license. Company had decided to purchase the SAP license. Once company is purchasing SAP license, straight away SAP is not ready to use application. So what you need to do? You need to set up SAP. To set up SAP, you have various SAP partners. You have various SAP partners. SAP partner is nothing but SAP associated companies or SAP authorized companies who will provide the SAP support, like implementing the system, supporting the system, upgrading the system, rolling out the system. In short, the various projects, whatever you have. These are all the consulting companies or SAP service providers. Like you can say Wipro, Infosys, Deloitte, TCS, all these kind of companies. Wherever you find SAP FICO jobs, these are all SAP partner companies. These are all SAP authorized companies, meaning these companies are officially authorized by SAP to do their SAP system application related activities, meaning implementing, providing support, all this kind of a thing. Now, once ABC Private Limited had decided to move on to SAP S/4HANA system from their existing legacy system. Now, here, when you come to SAP S/4HANA system, it is not a plain system. The data is already there. Business operations are already going on. Business is already happening. It is just that you are changing existing application to a new application. It's only a technical change of the application, otherwise there is no change. It is as simple as like you are changing your mobile phone. It is as simple as like you are changing a mobile phone. It's not that you have not used mobile phone in your life so far. This is the first time you are going to use the mobile phone. Anybody as such who is not using any phone at this moment? There are people, but if you look at the general count who will be using a mobile phone, maximum of the people or maximum percentage is currently using any other mobile phone. Agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Right?
sir. Yeah.
Now when you want to migrate to another mobile phone, now this is also mobile phone, that is also mobile phone. In this mobile phone also you can take photos. In the new mobile phone also you can take photos. From here you can make messages, from there you can make messages, from here you can make calls, from there you can make calls, but features differ or not between two mobile phones. Agree?
Yes. Yes.
Features will differ
Yes,
from
sir.
this mobile phone to that mobile phone, but the basic
Yes.
functionality is the same. You can take the calls, you can make messages, you can take photos, all these things are common. But from device to device, there are many features which will differ. Depending on your requirement, you are going to choose which mobile you are going to use it. And again, when you're choosing the mobile phone, there are so many technical aspects based on your need, based on your requirement, based on your usage. You are going to pick the one which is going to be most suitable for you. Blindly, you will not go to a shop, give me a mobile phone, whatever he gives, are you going to buy? Or you are going to look at your requirement first. You are going to look at your requirement. Based on your requirement, you will see which mobile fits your requirement maximum within your budget. Agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Same things will happen in the organization also, because SAP is something which is not a less cost application. SAP is most expensive application. SAP is something which is most expensive. Companies will have to invest monies in crores. It's not that something I'll pay and then I'll do it. This is not going to happen. Small companies cannot afford SAP because of this cost. SAP cost is more. SAP will charge more for their licensing, for their your annual maintenance and all. You have a recurring cost every month, every year if you're using SAP. And if you are a small business, if you are an initial startup company, you are going to get losses because of SAP application because it is more expensive. That is the reason a completely new company will not come to SAP because it's very expensive. What companies will do once they get established, once they feel that yes, now we are growing, we are able to make more revenues and all, then they go for SAP or any other ERP application. Otherwise, startup companies will always go for small applications which will meet within their budget. When it is a new company, they cannot invest more money on the ERP or any application because first they want to invest on the products. They want to make sure that the business is growing, they're making a profit. Then they will think of investing money in various other applications, introducing different softwares, technologies to the organization. Straight away, nobody will do it. You have to practically understand the things. Don't blindly think SAP FICO company will use SAP FICO. Company will use, but which company will use, at what stage they will use, what kind of situations are there. Once you have at least basic understanding, when you talk to the other person next time, you will be a little more conscious. You'll be a little more conscious and your examples, whatever you quote, will look valid. The other person should feel that yes, this candidate, this person is talking with meaningful example. All right. Now, coming back to this, our ABC Private Limited is currently using ERP application called Oracle. Now they want to come to SAP ERP application. Now we took an example. Let's say, let me put my name. I'll say old phone and I'm writing new phone, assuming that I'm going to purchase a new mobile phone here. I'm going to purchase a new mobile phone. Now forget about whether it is an old phone or whether it is a new phone. Forget about whether it is an old phone or it is a new phone. There are certain common criteria parameters which I will be having irrespective of the phone that I am going to use. First point, I have contacts. Yes, no. I have some contact numbers of my friends, family, relatives, students, different categorized. Yes, no. And I have
Yes, sir.
photos, I have documents, and I have existing messages. And likewise, there may be different categorization here. There may be different categorization of data that I am currently holding with me. It is not that when I buy a new mobile phone, I lose all this information. Will I be okay if I buy a new mobile phone? I will lose all my data. Is it okay? Anybody will buy a new mobile phone? If you say that you will lose all your data, you have to contact all your family, friends and all, take their mobile number again save their name, number manually. Will you be okay for it?
No. No, sir.
No. Why you are not okay for it? Because you are telling, no, this is my existing data, which is already created. Why I should create it again? Is this valid? I have 500 members in my contacts. I have already saved their name and their contact number properly. Now, why I should create them once again in a new mobile phone? Their number is the same, their contact name is same. Why I need to change? For the reason I'm changing the mobile phone. No, I don't want to change it. Now you have different options to move your contacts from old phone to new phone. Yes or no? There are different options available or not? Instead of creating once again, you can simply move from old mobile phone to new mobile phone. Possible or not? To move my contacts.
Yes, it
Yes,
is
sir.
possible, sir.
Right? So all the contacts, whatever I have here, I can easily get on my new mobile phone without any difficulty. And if I say that yes, all your contacts will appear on your new mobile phone, now you're okay or not okay?
We are okay.
Now you're okay. If all the contacts are going to reflect in your new mobile phone, you're fine. All the photos, let's say that you will lose all your photos, nothing will be available. You take fresh photos once again. You're okay now? If I say when you move to new mobile phone, all your photos will not come there. They will be in the old phone only. If you wanted to see old photo, please open your old phone and then look at it. You're okay now?
No, sir.
No, sir. No.
No. So, but if I say that you can copy, yes, all your old photos will reflect in your new mobile phone. You're okay now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right? Now let's say you have all your office documents, your experience document, your educational documents you stored, or your ID cards, everything you registered or you stored in your old mobile phone. You scanned it and then you kept it in your mobile phone, or whatever the reason you kept it in your mobile phone. If I say that if you use a new mobile phone, these things will not come there. Again, you're okay or you're not okay. If you're missing your existing data, you're not okay with anything. But the moment if I tell, no, everything will come in your new mobile phone also, you're more than happy to say that, yes, I'm okay with it. Because you're not losing anything. Am I correct? Though you're changing mobile phone, whatever you have in your old mobile phone, you're getting as it is in the new mobile phone. And if you get any new photo, if you get any new document, if you get any new contact, you are going to add it in new mobile phone, not in the old mobile phone. Meaning your new mobile phone, you want to have all the old mobile phone data. Only then you will be okay with, only then you will accept the new mobile phone and then you will start using it. If I tell you take new mobile phone today, I will take approximately 1 week to put all the data in the new mobile phone. Is this new mobile phone any kind of usable to you if it doesn't have any data? Only the SIM card, nothing is there. You want to make a call, no contacts are available. You want to, watch any movie, you want to watch any, look at any photos, you want to verify your previous messages, you want to verify your documents and all, nothing is available. You are okay with that mobile phone for 1 week?
No, sir.
Or you will tell, no,
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 sir.
no, give me mobile phone only after updating everything. Immediately, your mobile phone is helpful to you, or your mobile phone is helpful only after updating all the data.
After update.
After updating.
After updating all the data only it is usable to you. Before that it is not usable to you because you can do nothing with it. There is no contact, nothing is there. Now in this similar way, whenever a company is going on to SAP, all the data is there in their legacy system. Here you are going to call it as old phone. Let me put ABC Private Limited here. I'll just replicate the same example so that you can easily connect what I'm referring to. Now here I'll put old ERP, here I'll put new ERP. Now, what ERP system we were talking about ABC Private Limited before?
Old.
Oracle.
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 Oracle. We were talking about Oracle.
Oracle.
What is the new ERP that ABC Private Limited is going to use? SAP?
SAP S/4HANA.
SAP S/4HANA.
S/4HANA.
SAP S/4HANA. Now, why I'm specifically writing SAP S/4HANA is currently in the market there is nothing called ECC. Currently in the market there is nothing called ECC, meaning we are talking about a situation scenario where a company wants to start to use SAP newly. We are not talking about any company who is currently using SAP. We are talking about a company who wants to use SAP, who wants to purchase SAP. Now, anybody who wants to purchase SAP, anybody who wants to use SAP now, ECC is not available because SAP is no more giving ECC licenses. It is gone, rolled out. So anybody who wants to buy now, they have to buy SAP S/4HANA only. Anybody who will enter SAP system now, any implementation which is happening in the market is completely S/4HANA system. That is why we are specifically writing SAP S/4HANA. I'm not writing SAP for that reason. Okay. SAP S/4HANA system, the ABC Private Limited wants to use it. Now here you have the data again. Let us be very specific related to accounting only. Let us make sure we are very particular about accounting only. In your accounting, you have the data related to what? Like the way you said in your mobile phone, you have contacts, photos, document, message, X, Y, Z. In the similar way, in any organization, what data will be available?
GLA.
Trial balance.
Vendor
Let's say
customer information.
you have GL details, you have all your vendor details, you have all your customer details, you have all your asset details, agree? And then you have all your inventory related details. Likewise, there are many other information, your tax related information, and then XYZ. Okay, like this, there are so many other information which is currently available in your existing system, which is nothing but Oracle. Now, tomorrow when you want to make a payment to a vendor, if you do not know how much you need to pay, on what basis you are going to pay? You must be requiring what is the current outstanding to this vendor. Only then you will decide when to pay. And again, you are not going to pay straightforward. You are going to look at what is the due date for it. Meaning your existing system is going to provide all kind of information related to vendor or not. How much you need to pay to which vendor, on what date this payment is due, do we get it or not in the existing system?
Yes, sir, will get.
In the existing system, you will get it because that is where you recorded the transaction. But when I come to SAP S4 HANA system, if I tell this is very plain application, nothing will be there here. It's a complete fresh start in your SAP S4 HANA system. That means nothing is coming here. Now, when I look at my SAP S4 HANA system, if I try to look at my vendor listing, no vendor is available. If I try to look at what is my outstanding liability to vendor, nothing is available. Meaning, does it mean that all your liabilities are automatically waived off?
Yes.
Hmm?
No. Technically, no.
Assuming that I am moving to SAP S4 HANA system from Oracle. In the Oracle, I have all this information. Now, when I come to SAP S4 HANA system, if I say that no, you don't get any of your existing data into SAP S4 HANA system. In this situation, if I get my SAP S4 HANA system with complete blank details, nothing is there from my previous information. Do I get, if I see that there is nothing available from my previous transaction in SAP S4 HANA system, does it mean that my liabilities are automatically written off? I lost all my assets?
Yes.
No,
No.
sir.
No.
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 Right, my expenses are there. Does it mean that somebody waived off my expenses? My income is there. Does it mean that somebody took away my income from me? Then I need to start a fresh start from whatever entry I do it. That is what my transaction. Is it okay?
No,
Is
sir.
that the meaning?
No, sir. It is not.
It has to be business process continuation. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
It
Yes,
has
sir,
to
correct,
be
sir.
business
Yes.
process continuation. Whatever was there yesterday, it has to be there today in the new system. It is my personal requirement that I changed the ERP application. You're not going to tell your vendor, no, unfortunately, we moved our system from Oracle to SAP. We lost all the data. Your details are also missing. When we find your details, we will get back to you. Till then, you don't call us. Can you tell to vendor?
No, sir.
No, right? And then let's say you have a customer to whom you have supplied some material, and then you have to receive money from your customer. You are not going to ask, or you are not going to accept money from your customer. Even if your customer is ready to pay, you are going to tell, no, we lost our system. We don't have any details related to you, what we sold it to you, how much we need to get it from you. Once we find the details, we will ask you to pay money. Till then, you don't pay, you enjoy. Is that what you're going to tell to customer?
No, sir.
Meaning here you're having a break in your business transaction. There is no connectivity. And is this what required, or is this what acceptable by any organization, or nobody will accept it?
Nobody will accept, sir.
Nobody will accept this. And this is not going to happen at all. When we say that this is not going to happen, nobody is going to accept it. For example, if you come back to the same example of my mobile phone, let's say you called me 10 times yesterday. There was some emergency. You called me 10 times yesterday due to some urgent matter. Now, yesterday evening, I changed my mobile phone to new phone, or today I changed to old phone to new phone. I don't know that you called me 10 times, or you sent me some messages. I don't know that you sent messages, or you gave some information, you sent some money to me yesterday. I said that, okay, you will give me money today, I'll give you tomorrow. Now, tomorrow, when I move to my new mobile phone, if I don't find any details of transaction, whatever you did, I cannot say that no, I've not received your money. I don't find anything in my mobile phone. I changed my mobile phone doesn't mean my transaction is also changed. Am I correct? Transaction data will remain fixed. If I'm changing my device, I have to make sure all the data will be transferred. It is something related to my responsibility or not? I cannot give you a reason stating I changed mobile phone, all the data is lost. Please, I'm sorry, I cannot do anything. This is not an excuse for you, right? I'm not supposed to tell this reason to you. This is something which is my personal. Yes or no? I need to make sure whatever the data is there, whatever I am supposed to do, I have to do it. Though I use my old phone or I use my new phone, I need to make sure there is a continuity. Whatever happened yesterday should be continued today and then tomorrow. It is nowhere concerned about till yesterday I was using a old phone, I'm using a new phone. For 1 or 2 days, this is an exception, but not all the time. For 1 or 2 days, this can be an exception that the other person understands. Otherwise, I'm not supposed to give this reason. These are all excuses. In the similar way, any company who is getting onto SAP S4 HANA system, they need to make sure all the data, whatever they have in the current system, should be transferred to the new system. All the data from the current system should be transferred to the new system. Now here what you want everything as it is. Whatever you have, everything you require as it is. Now how you are going to get this data here? How you are going to get the data here? We are talking only about the finance point of view, accounting point of view. Whatever the data that I have in my existing system called Oracle, and how I want to get it, how I should see it in my new system called SAP S4 HANA system. There is something called, here you are going to call something copy. Alright. What you will do here, you will copy data from old phone to new phone, contacts, photos, document, message. Agree?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
But here you are not going to call as a copy. Instead, you will call it as a migration. Here you are going to call it as a migration. You are migrating from old system to new system. Old system to new system. Now, here I am okay if I use old phone. Here I am okay if I use say old phone, new phone. Now here I cannot say old ERP. I cannot say old system. In place of old system, you have to say which system?
Legacy systems.
Legacy system. You'll have to remember certain keywords also. This is very, very important. Okay. This is your legacy system. SAP is called as new system only. This is called as new system. In place of old, you are going to replace legacy. New will become new only. Now from legacy system to new system. Now new system, you know what it is. If you do not know what is new system, you are going to call it as a new. But the moment you know that what is the new system, you are still going to call it as a new system. If you do not know, I'm going to call it as a new system. But I know what is my new system, right? What is the new system?
SAP S4HANA.
New system is SAP S4 HANA system. Is this correct or not?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Any change in the new system? As you are a FICO consultant, you are responsible only for SAP. If somebody is purchasing, let's say, JD Edwards, are you responsible for JD Edwards or you are responsible only for SAP?
It's only SAP.
You are responsible only for SAP because you are learning SAP FICO. You are going to become a SAP FICO consultant. As a SAP FICO consultant, you are going to work only on SAP system. Is my statement correct?
Right.
Am I correct?
Yes,
We
sir.
will be working only on SAP system. So because you are a SAP FICO consultant. Now, according to you, anybody who is coming from their existing system, from their old system, they are coming into SAP S4 HANA system only. Only then you are responsible. Otherwise, you are not responsible. You will tell you go to somebody else. Because I'm not that particular consultant. I'm a SAP FICO consultant. If you are on SAP, I can help you. If not, I cannot help you. Meaning here we don't call it as a new system because you know your new system is fixed always SAP S4 HANA system. Now what you are going to tell here, it is no longer old system to new system. Instead it is called as legacy system to SAP S4 HANA system. It is represented as legacy system to SAP S4 HANA system. Is it clear? It is not old to new system, old ERP, new ERP. Instead, you have to talk legacy system to SAP S4 HANA system. Is this term clear?
Yes, sir.
Right? Tomorrow, when you're talking to somebody, if you're talking about old system, old ERP, new ERP, they'll look at you in a surprising way. Why you're talking like this? Because those who do not know properly, they will only talk like this. Once you know that no, this is not the way we should talk as an experienced candidate, as an experienced consultant, you should talk in a right way. Right sentences you'll have to use, right terminology, right keywords you'll have to use. Only then other person feels yes, he or she is talking in a right content. Otherwise they feel that no, something is wrong. You're not even aware how to call it. Okay, when you're doing this migration or when you're migrating data from legacy system to S4 HANA system, when you're migrating data from legacy system to S4 HANA system, why I am talking about legacy system here is because when you're coming into SAP S4 HANA system, you may be using any application. There is no rule here. It can be anything. One company may be working on Tally, another company may be working on on Oracle, some other company may be working on Microsoft Dynamics, some other company may be working on JD Edwards. Likewise, there are so many applications in the market with which a company can do their financials, a company can do their accounting. Now, there is no rule that only Oracle based companies should come to SAP, only Tally based companies should come to SAP, only JD Edwards companies should come to SAP. There is no rule as such. Anybody can come into SAP S4 HANA system. Is that correct? Meaning a company decided to go to SAP or to use SAP, they may be using any application in the current system. There is no rule in that. Is this statement right or wrong?
Correct, sir.
Yes.
Correct,
Right?
sir.
Your existing company can use any application. There is no rule as such. You cannot tell no, if you're using Tally, we will not give you SAP. How does it matter? It doesn't matter in any ways because you're only concerned about SAP. They can be using any application at the current at this stage. The current application whatever they are using is called as legacy system. Since this is not fixed, it can be replaced with any name. In place of Oracle, I can write a Tally also. In place of Tally, I can write any other XYZ application. Now, in this process, what you are going to do, you are going to do the data migration. When you're doing the data migration, this data migration is nothing but your existing financial data, you are moving on to S4 HANA system. When you're talking about existing financial data, how you are going to bring this existing financial data into S4 HANA system or into SAP. Now, here you have to talk about something called accounting cycle. Everybody must have heard accounting cycle in your academics. Yes, no? You must have heard something called accounting cycle,
Yes,
flow
sir.
of accounting. What happens in your accounting? Straight away, you cannot do any accounting. It is in a sequential order. You cannot skip the sequence. You cannot skip the logic. It is applicable as it is in any organization. No company is an exception to it. First thing, what will happen? What you will write first? Journal
Ledger
entry.
posting.
First thing you will write journal entry, right? When you write journal entry, there is some event happened, right? Something happened, based on that only you're writing journal entry, meaning there is a business transaction. What is an example of journal entry? For example, sales journal entry, purchase journal entry, salaries entry, payment entry, receipt entry, asset entry, liability entry. Are these example related to journal entry? Is this right?
Right.
Right. Now sales is a
Yes.
transaction, purchase is a transaction, asset is a transaction, liability is a transaction, payment is a transaction, income is a transaction, expense is a transaction. Am I correct? All right.
Yes.
All these
Yes.
transactions are represented as business transactions. These are all represented as business transaction. If you do not know business transaction, you cannot write journal entry. If I ask you to tell me a name, you will directly tell me a name, or you want which name you want? You want your parents' name, you want your brother and sister name, you want your name, you want your colleague's name, you want any hero name, heroine name, whose name you want? Do I need to give clear instruction or not? If I want you to tell me a name, which name am I asking? Should I give clear instruction or not?
Yes, sir.
Right? If I tell you, tell me a name. Is it giving any instruction that it is your name? Did I mention your name? Tell me your name, or
No.
it's only a tell me a name? Is this
Tell me
question
again.
clear or it is not clear
Yes, it's clear.
to
It's
answer?
just a instruction that we are expecting what we need.
Right? This question is missing something. Agree? This question is missing something. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes. We are not
I am
asking
telling a
the
name,
per name. What is
but whose name is missing? Meaning, what exactly I want to get from you, I'm missing. Now I need to tell whether it is your name or your friend name, or it is related to you or it is not related to you. Let's say one hero name, let's say one flower name, okay, one country name, I'm missing it. The moment I add this here, only then it is possible for you to give the clear answer. Otherwise, you will tell no, you just told a name. I gave a name. Now your question is not clear. My answer is not clear. You're right from your point of view. I am right from my point of view. But when we both sit together, are we aligned or not aligned? If with this question, if I come in front of you and then you will give me the answer, let's say laptop. This is what the answer you gave. Now you will tell no, you just asked me to tell a name. Laptop is a name. I'm correct. But I did not mean to hear laptop from you. I mean to know that one ERP application name. I'm expecting SAP from you, but you're telling laptop. From your point of view, for this question, laptop is valid. But from my point of view, my question is not valid because I did not specify what exactly I want. Agree? Now, in the similar way, when you're talking about a journal entry, nobody in this world will write journal entry blindly. Journal entry is always based on business transaction. Am I correct or not?
yes, sir.
Yes.
Even in
Correct,
your
sir.
academic exam, they will give you a question. ABC Limited purchased goods and services from XYZ Limited and so on so date for XYZ amount. Please write journal entry here. Nobody will give you write a journal entry on your own in the exam. Did anybody got such kind of questions in your exam, in your accounting, in your academic?
No.
Anybody asked you to write
No,
journal
sir.
entry, whatever comes in your mind? No. They will give you a transaction, they will give you a scenario. According to the transaction, according to the scenario, you need to understand, write the journal entry. Meaning, this is not something which is independent. Journal entry is always dependent on business transaction. If I'm talking about business transaction related to sales, my journal entry must be related to sales only. Agree?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes.
sir.
If I put my business transaction related to purchases, I must represent my journal entry related to purchases only. I cannot say this is also journal entry, this is also journal entry, it has also got debit and credit, this has also got a debit and credit. Yes, debit and credit is there, but my scenario is different, my logic is different, my entry is different, my transaction is different. Meaning, before you write any journal entry, you need to make sure business transaction is very, very important. When somebody is asking you about accounting cycle, or when you try to look at anything from SAP point of view, from accounting point of view, you have to always remember business transaction is very, very important. If business transaction is not there, you cannot write any accounting entry. Is my statement correct? If I don't tell you, or if you do not know the business transaction, you cannot write any accounting entry. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right? After writing the accounting entry, if somebody will put a question, why did you do this entry? You have to tell again the business transaction. Agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right? You cannot say no, just like that. This is what I remembered at that moment. I've written it. Nobody is going to say okay to it. You have to tell based on what you wrote this accounting entry, what is this transaction according to you, which triggered you to write this accounting entry. You have to tell the explanation, otherwise nobody will approve it. Now, one more point that you'll have to keep in your mind at this moment. There is something called auditing. Anybody heard something called auditing?
Yes.
Alright? There are two types of auditings here. One is your internal, other one is external. Now, if you consider India, who will do the auditing of external in India? Forget about internal. At this moment, we will see later on. Okay, this is to be discussed. Later on, we will see what is internal audit. When it comes to external audit, who will do the external audit in India? Who is that person called?
Chartered accountants.
CA.
Chartered accountant will do external audit. Is this mandatory or optional for any organization in India?
It's a mandatory for all the organizations.
This is mandatory for all the organization. What this external auditor will verify?
Accuracy of financial statements.
Right? So they are going to verify whether your financials, whether your accounting is done properly or not, as per the rules and regulations, whether it is done properly or not. This is what they are going to verify. Agree? Meaning their auditor is verifying your accounting accuracy only. Yes or no? Whether entries are booked correctly or not. If the bill shows 1,000 rupees, whether you booked it for 1,000 or 10,000. Everything they are going to verify. They are going to collect some samples. They are going to verify if everything is accounted properly or not. Meaning your accounting cycle, when you're referring to it, you need to make sure everything is taken care. Ravi, can you please go on mute? You need to make sure everything is taken care of it. Otherwise, it will be a tricky situation for any organization. Now, as a consultant, this is the first point that you should keep in your mind. The last point of any organization is something called auditing. Alright, and the first point of any organization is nothing but business transaction. Now you have to understand right from the business transaction until the auditing. Whatever happens in any organization, as a FICO consultant, what you will do, which includes all type of projects, whether it is implementation, rollout, support, upgradation, migration, everything is included in it. If you are able to understand right from the business transaction until the auditing, whatever happens, this covers everything of your SAP. Whatever is required for you to become a successful FICO consultant, this flow, this process will make sure that you are clear, thorough with all the areas. Okay, now based on the business transaction, you have a journal entry. Based on the journal entry, what you will do?
Creating
Ledger
ledgers.
accounts. You will be preparing ledger accounts. After the ledger account, what will happen?
Trial balance.
You are going to prepare trial balance. Based on the trial balance, what you are going to prepare?
Profit and loss
Profit and
account.
P&L account.
right? Profit and loss statement. And after that,
Balance
balance
sheet.
sheet. Now this is mandatory for every organization or this is optional?
Mandatory.
This is
Mandatory.
mandatory for every organization. Now these three are supposed to be every month or every year.
Every
These
month.
three, these three are basically every month. These three are basically every month. Every organization will have to find out what is their P&L, what is their balance sheet. Meaning, at the end of a month, you need to know for this particular month whether you got profit or loss. Similarly, what is your asset position, what is your liability position, whether your assets are increasing or decreasing, whether your liability is increasing or decreasing. If it is increasing, why liability is increased, which liability is increased. You want to analyze your business process. For that, you need to prepare these reports on a monthly basis. There is no exception to it, to any organization. Now here, next thing what we need to do is, if I am a business, if I am a company who is operating, do I need a trial balance every month or not?
Yes, sir.
If I am a
Yes,
company,
sir.
do I need a trial balance every month or not? I need my TB every month, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Do I need my P&L from every month or not?
Yes,
Balance
sir.
sheet.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Any
sir.
exception or
Yes.
this is mandatory?
Mandatory.
This
No
is
exception.
mandatory.
This is mandatory. If I am using SAP, from where I need as a trial balance P&L balance sheet if I am using SAP. If I am using SAP, do I need a trial balance from SAP or I need to prepare a trial balance manually in the Excel sheet?
Prepare from SAP.
Hmm? If I am using SAP, am I expecting TB from SAP or am I expecting my user to sit and prepare a trial balance in the Excel sheet manually?
From SAP.
Expect
From
to get
SAP.
from
From
Expecting
SAP.
from SAP.
Right? It has to come from SAP. P&L,
again the
From
same.
SAP.
it has to come from SAP. Balance sheet also should come from SAP. In short, if you are using SAP, there is no manual intervention. Agree? You don't want anybody to prepare TB manually because they may manipulate the data. Possibility is there or not? If I'm
Yes.
Correct.
preparing report manually, I may manipulate the data. Instead of showing asset as 25 lakh, I may show 28 lakhs. Or instead of showing bank balance 5 lakh, I may show only 4 lakh. 1 lakh I may use for my personal purpose. Anything is possible when you're doing a manual accounting. Any manual intervention is possible, and this no organization wants. This manual intervention, no company wants it. They want everything to be driven by system. System should deliver all the reports whatever I want. I don't want anybody to control on my accounting. Manual interventions are not possible in SAP. That is the reason most of the companies will go for SAP. Whatever you do will get tracked. Whether you add, modify, delete, change, whatever you do, it will get updated with your user ID, from what, at what time, from what date, in which system you did it, everything will be tracked. Now, here, when you're talking about this trial balance, as a FICO consultant, do I need to know how trial balance comes from SAP or not? Is it required or not required? Trial balance.
Obviously, we should know.
Required, sir.
Right.
This is required. As a FICO consultant, do I know, should I know or not, how P&L comes from SAP?
Ye-
Yes or no?
Yes.
As a FICO consultant, should I know how balance sheet is coming from SAP or not?
Yes, we should know.
Yes.
We should know there is no exception to it. It is mandatory by default. Now, so far we are all thinking that trial balance, journal entry, ledger account, P&L balance sheet is all related to accounting. I am a FICO consultant, I don't need this. Most of you or many of you may be thinking, no, as a consultant, why we should think about a trial balance, P&L balance sheet? It is all about configuration. I know how to create a company code. I know how to create a chart of account. I know how to create a vendor account. I know how to post a GL entry and all. This is what we may be thinking at the beginning, but that is wrong approach. That is completely wrong approach. If you're thinking in that way, later on, you're going to face a lot of problems. Now, everybody is aware of something called implementation. Anybody is aware of it? Is there anybody who is not aware of implementation? Or everybody heard implementation term in SAP? Everybody heard implementation project?
Yes.
Heard.
Right? Now your implementation project is completed only with a trial balance. If there is no trial balance, there is no implementation project. Is this statement correct or not? Your implementation project will not be completed without a trial balance. Is my statement correct or wrong?
Yes. Correct.
Any implementation project that you're talking about, it is incomplete without a trial balance. Yes or no? If trial balance is not there, no implementation project will be completed. No implementation project will be completed if you do not have a trial balance. Why? If you go up, you're talking about this example. If you go up, we were talking about this example, old phone, new phone. We understood. If I don't get my old phone data in my new phone, I am telling my new phone is not useful for me. This is what we understood. Agree to it? If you don't get your old data in the new phone, your new phone is not going to be any helpful for you. You said until you copy all the old phone details into new phone, you are not going to use your new phone. Yes or no? Is this what we understood with this phone?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, on the application, on the ERP system, from Oracle to SAP, we understood if you don't get all the legacy data to your SAP, GL entries, customer, vendor asset, all this kind of a thing, you said no, your SAP is again not going to be useful. You need this information. Yes or no? We understood we require all this legacy data, all the existing data, existing liabilities, existing asset, existing expenses, income, everything you want to see it in SAP also. Only then you can continue the business process. Otherwise, there is no continuity. Now, how all these details are going to come to your SAP S/4HANA system? Based on what? Based on a single word called a trial balance. How you are going to copy the data from legacy system to S/4HANA system as a FICO consultant? Based on what? Based on what?
Trial balance.
Trial
Trial.
balance.
Based on the trial balance. Based on the trial balance, you are going to copy all the data from legacy system to SAP system. You cannot say that I do not know trial balance. It is as simple. It is very good to say that I do not know SAP FICO instead of telling I do not know trial balance. Those who feel or those who think that I do not know what is trial balance, it is better to say I do not know SAP FICO. And especially when you are quoting some experience, when you are telling you're an experienced candidate, highly not possible, not at all recommended. It is as simple as like you told, if I ask you what is your name, can you say I don't know my name, I forgot my name? Can I say I forgot my name? Can I say I forgot my name when you ask me my name?
No. No, we can't.
No,
No,
sir.
no, you can't.
No.
Can I say I don't know my name?
No.
It is the same thing here. If you are a FICO consultant, you cannot say I forgot what is trial balance. You cannot say I don't know what is trial balance. There are certain things in SAP FICO which a FICO consultant must be aware of. It is like knowing your name. Like this, there are certain other points that we will slowly understand. No other go. You will be straight away rejected. You go talk to a person, talk to a basic accountant, and tell them that how important is a trial balance. Now talk to a consultant who is working on SAP, ask them how important a trial balance for a consultant in any implementation project. Then you will realize the importance of it. And if you are not aware of it, how TB, what is TB, how TB is prepared, how TB comes in SAP, how we migrate a TB into SAP, there is no meaning that we know SAP FICO. There is no meaning of learning SAP FICO. Because tomorrow when somebody is telling, for this basic question, is this a basic question or any complicated question? Trial balance.
It's a
Basic
basic one.
question, sir.
It's a basic question. No need to have any SAP experience here. If you know accounting, you can answer you can answer what is trial balance. But when you know that you worked as a FICO consultant, you are telling that you were part of one end-to-end implementation project, you were part of one rollout project. Now you are telling I don't know what is trial balance. It reveals that you have not worked anywhere. You don't know what is SAP FICO. One answer related to trial balance, if you give incorrect, your total knowledge is considered as a zero. They feel that whosoever is the other person, they feel that this candidate doesn't know anything. Just because you are unable to answer what is trial balance. And without a trial balance, remember, no project will go live. If you're doing any implementation project, if you're doing any rollout project, the project is not going to go live. The project will not be completed without a trial balance. Check with your friends who are working on SAP FICO. Can you go live a project without a trial balance? What a FICO consultant will do with trial balance? Why FICO consultant requires trial balance? When you understand these points, these fundamentals, logics, you will start realizing what is SAP FICO. You will start realizing what you need to learn as a FICO consultant. Else what will happen? We will straight away jump into what is company code, chart of account, fiscal year, posting period. These things anybody can learn. But at the end of doing all these things, what are you going to do? It is as simple as like I give you a new mobile phone. Assume that I am going to give you a brand new mobile phone, Apple 15 Pro Max, and then I want you to call me tomorrow. I give you brand new Apple phone, and I want you to call me tomorrow morning. Brand new mobile phone, sealed piece, I'll give it to you. Unopened piece, I'll give it to you. I want you to call me from this mobile phone tomorrow. Is it possible or not possible?
Not possible without configuring these things.
Right? There are many other things are there. You need to put a SIM card, assuming that SIM card is also there. You have your number. But do you need my number or not?
Certainly.
Yes or no? You have the device doesn't mean you can make a call. You need the data or not?
Yes, sir.
If data is not there, will you be able to make a call whether it is Apple 15 Pro Max or it's a normal dummy Nokia phone, keypad phone?
No, you can't.
Whatever it is, the purpose is not fulfilled if you do not have the data. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That data is given or is driven by trial balance in any organization. The way you said, sorry, the way you said your mobile phone is not of any use if it doesn't have the contacts in it, if it doesn't have the mobile numbers and all in it, you cannot make any call. Meaning, though you have the mobile phone, though you have full network, 5G network, Wi-Fi, everything is there, but you don't have the number. You can do nothing there, right? Though you have everything, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
The similar way, when you implement SAP, when you hand over SAP system to the client, if you don't bring the data into SAP, your client will do nothing with the SAP system. It's of no use to them. They say that this is useless. Then what you are going to do, how you are going to bring the data with the help of trial balance. As a consultant, you need to understand, as a FICO consultant, you need to understand what is trial balance from the accounting point of view first. Then you see how this TB is connected to SAP, what we need to do, how we need to do. Slowly, when you look at it, you will be practically realizing, okay, these are all the things that are there in SAP. As a consultant, we need to know these fundamentals. Else, this is going to be very tricky for you. What is the use of your learning, your knowledge, if you are not able to answer the basic fundamentals after completing the course? When somebody is asking, how do you get a TB from SAP? If you say, I don't know, I've not seen any TB so far. There are many people who complete their SAP, they do not know what is trial balance. They would not have seen any time trial balance from SAP. They are not even aware that from SAP you get a trial balance. There are many like that. And they don't even realize this is the critical part, without which no project will be completed. And then the same person who have not seen a trial balance in SAP so far will tell, I am part of 2 implementations. How? Nobody knows. That is the reason when somebody is talking, when somebody is attending interviews, they say that I'm attending so many interviews, I'm not getting any job. There are so many reasons like this. There's so many reasons. The basic fundamental is missing. When the basic fundamentals are missing, forget about getting a job. Nobody even approves that you know the basic accounting, you're good at accounting. Forget about SAP. At the end, SAP FICO means it is related to accounting. You have to practically relate the things. You have to accept the reality. Only then it is possible for us to understand in a conceptual manner. Okay, this is what is going to happen. This is what I need to understand. Tomorrow you need to talk to the users, business, client and all. Everything related to accounting only. Because you are a FICO consultant. FICO is accounting. That's it, simple. Now you have seen something here. These are all accounting, or what is this called? GL, AP, AR. Are these all part of accounting or non-accounting? Even if you go talk to a student who is studying in your BCom or MBA, intermediate and all, they will say that these are all accounts or not. Even a student is telling these are all part of account. Yes, no.
Yes, sir.
You go to an intermediate candidate, you go to a BCom graduate, you go to a chartered accountant, you go to ICW candidate, you go to MCom candidate, MBA candidate, everybody will say these are part of accounting or not.
Yes, sir.
These are
Yes,
part
sir.
of accounts or not. Now, as a FICO consultant, should we know that these are accounts or not?
Yes, sir.
But what we will do, most of the times we will ignore that part. We will see that now I am getting into IT. I'm a software engineer now. I'm going to configure. I'm not going to do accounting. These are all the manipulative things that you have to keep in your mind. You have to be very practical. Only then it is possible for you to get a job tomorrow. Manage your job, get the positive opinion wherever you are tomorrow. Else, whatever the effort that you put, you will not get the result. How much ever the effort you put, you will not get the result because the key points are missing. When these key points are missing, nobody approves it. When nobody is approving it, how you will get the job? Even if you get the job, how you will survive in your job? Very difficult. Every day you have to be afraid. Because you will not be able to complete your job without knowing these points in a practical manner. Okay, so on this point, meaning on this accounting cycle and all, we will discuss further in the tomorrow's session. What is business transaction, what is journal entry, what is ledger account? These points we will discuss in tomorrow's session in detail so that you'll have a conceptual understanding. Then slowly we will relate everything to SAP. If you do not know what is this in general, you will not be able to understand what is this in SAP. Don't assume that straight away you will be able to know it in SAP. That is more complicated. You will never be able to learn. If you know what is what at the beginning and when you relate it with SAP, it's more easy for you to connect. Okay, I know this already because this is something that I'm not teaching you for the new. This is something that you should be already aware of it. Agree? This is something that you must be already aware of it. We are just revising it. We are just
Yes, sir.
recollecting our memory so that you will feel more comfortable, more confident. Yes, there is something which is already I'm aware of. And the same thing is there in SAP. You will be more connected to it. But at the beginning, no other go. You have to recollect your previous memory, knowledge and all. Then when you relate it with SAP, you will find it more relatable. You will find it more comfortable, more easier to understand. Okay, there is nothing new in SAP FICO. It's all about the accounting that you are already aware of it. All right, fine then. Let me stop this here. We will continue the remaining portion in the tomorrow's session. Okay, bye.
Hi Ajay, are you there?